It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Neptune Brewery and this is a can of their Kelpie. It's a limited edition bourbon barrel aged wee heavy. I nearly said Scotch ale then. It's not a Scotch ale, it's a wee heavy. This one's coming in at 7.8% ABV. It's been barrel aged in Buffalo Trace barrels, casks. Oh, sounds amazing. 330 milliliter can, sent by the wonderful, or not sent by, actually handed to me at Glenafric Brewery. Handed to me by Neil Long, the wonderful Neil Long. You might have seen him on the live stream at Glenafric Brewery. He handed me this can. He said, take it home, cherish it. It's lovely. So without further ado then, let's get this beer out into a glass. Wow, and see what we get. Bit of carbonation on this one. Bit of a bang, bit of a puff of smoke on the opening. This looks really good. Slightly over carbonated, but if I went a little bit more gentle on the pour, then I'd have the whole can in the glass. We got a 2 to 3 finger, I'm going to say tan coloured head. Look at that for a beer. Doesn't that look really, really good? This is a very, very deep brown. I'd say a very deep brown coloured beer. It's probably looking in the camera like it's looking like a stout or a porter. It's not. It's very, very dark brown. Let's get the aroma. Nice carbonation rolling up the side of the glass. Aroma then. Oh, wow. Oh, what a special beer. Just by the aroma alone, I can tell this is going to be a really, really special beer. There's a level of caramel, sweet caramel, but raisin and plum and prune and fig. A little bit of the spirit. I'm presuming Buffalo Trace is a bourbon barrel aged, or a bourbon whiskey, should I say. You definitely get the woodiness from the barrels. A little hint of whiskey, but it's not overly done with the whiskey. Oh, it smells fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Apple pie. For some reason, my first instinct was apple pie when it come to that richness, that creaminess, that sweetness. It's like honeycomb. A little bit of raisin, plum, prune, fig. A little bit of carbonation pushes the beer round the inside of the mouth. Oh, it's fabulous. Oh, it's got a... It's a very drinkable beer at 7.8% ABV. It's not overly thick and gloopy and sticking on the palate too much. It's a refreshing beer that shows signs of being like a half decent mouthfeel on it. If that makes sense to you people. It's more... It's definitely a sipper. It's definitely a beer that, for the winter times, for the winter months, to sit back. Maybe there's a gale blowing outside and the rest of the last of the leaves are falling off the trees, and you're sitting there contemplating a long winter, and you need something just to pluck the spirits a little bit, and you think to yourself, I'm just going to crack that special beer I bought from Neptune Brewery and contemplate away my evening. That's exactly what you want to do with this beer. It's a beauty. It's a real beauty of a beer. Thank you, Neil Long, for handing this to me and saying take it home and review it. But that initial kind of like apple pie flavour, it's not apple in a sense of, because some people see apple as an off flavour in a beer. There's no off flavour. I want to make it clear, there's no off flavours in the beer. There's just a certain kind of like the crust, the apple pie crust, that kind of malt build coming through, the sweet malt, the biscuity malt coming through. That's that kind of pie crust on the apple pie. The plum, the fig, the prune, the spiciness, the pepperiness, yeah, that could all be kind of slightly toeing the line of an apple pie, couldn't it? It's a fruit pie. It's a beauty. Buffalo Trace, Bourbon barrel aged, wee heavy, brewed using Fuggles hops. Kelpie. Kelpie is a shape-shifting water spirit found in the lochs and pools of Scotland. This Scottish wee heavy has been barrel aged for 8 months in Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels. The result is a full, rich beer with delicious caramel flavours infused with warming notes of bourbon. Yeah, incredible. I'm gonna rate it. It's a really good one. On the channel, we review very few barley wines, very few Scotch ales, very few wee heavies. But when we do, we genuinely kind of like are taken aback by them. It's always been, well, I've not had this beer very long, to be honest with you, but it's always been about, for me personally, you get your barrel aged barley wine and you just leave it in the cupboard for a year before you even think about getting round to it. When really, you're doing the beer an injustice. You should be kind of like getting that beer out and enjoying it straight away, rather than going, I'll drink my New England IPA first, or my fancy Imperial Stout. No, honestly, get your wee heavy, get your barley wine. Some of them can be terrific. Not some of them, mostly all of them. They're great beers. It's just they don't have that same social media kind of like, let's post about this barley wine, let's post about this wee heavy. It doesn't have that same influence of a double IPA or a double New England IPA or an Imperial Stout or an Imperial Porter. But give it a chance, because it's blooming good beer. I'm gonna rate it. It's great. Great lacing, great taste, great carbonation, great finish, little tickle of alcohol. little bit of woodiness coming through. It's just fabulous. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.